Correctional Services, I beg your pardon. The Minister Michael Masutha announced on Thursday last week that the 65-year-old apartheid-era police colonel Eugene de Kock's current application had been denied because the families of his victims had not been consulted. De Kock was in charge of a police death squad at Vlakplaas outside Pretoria, which arranged and carried out the deaths of anti-apartheid activists. He was arrested in 1994 and then convicted in 1996. Khulumani is a non-governmental organization which helps victims with memory healing, repatriations and reconciliation, has welcomed the decision made by the minister. We're joined in studio by one of the board members of Khulumani Support Group, Judy Seidman, and Bheki Mlangeni, who is the mother of slain activist lawyer Bheki Mlangeni, as well as her son and Bheki's brother, Khulumani Mlangeni, who will also act as an interpreter for Catherine here in studio. Thank you, all of you, for being with us here on the program. Judy, let's begin with you. Explain to us the importance of consulting the families of victims when there is an application for parole, such as in the case of Eugene de Kock.
Well, I think from Khulumani's perspective, this is a question of building restorative justice. We know that de Kock is one of the very few perpetrators who has actually been found guilty of a number of crimes, gross human rights violations, crimes against humanity. He also got amnesty on some levels for some of the other things that he was responsible for. And we also know that there are quite a lot of incidents which he was supervising as commander at Vlakplaas, which have not even come up into the public view. So from our perspective, in order to make sure that there really is some form of restorative justice in place, it is really very important that there is an ongoing dialogue, that the needs of the survivors, the victims, the families of people who have suffered these crimes actually have an input into what's going on.
Let's now speak to some of the family members, and we're very, very happy and honored to have Bheki Mlangeni here in studio with us. Ma'am Mlangeni, how do you feel? Are you, when there was possibly a chance that Eugene de Kock may come out on parole, how did that make you feel?
Kunezinto eziningi ezingazange zingijabulise nxa ekubekwa njengephepha eliphume ku-10 elithi mina ngiyalangikhubaza kakhulu lelo, ngoba mina ngizange ngikusho lokho. Manje ngicela ukuthi ngene ngilungiselele lokho nje ukuthi ukwazi ukuthi kusuke lokho ngiqaluke ukuba ngizokhuluma.
Lendani?
Ngokomndeni nje akuzange kube yinto enhle lokho okuye kwavela ephephandabeni. Yebo, bona bebefikile, kodwa akuwona umlayezo lo mama unikezile ukuthi yena nomndeni usebeyimisela ukuthi bangaxolelana no Eugene. Kukhulu umonakala wenza ukuthi usungakhohlweka ngenxa yokuthi usefuna ushwele yena. Umndeni usolokhu wakhubazeka iminyaka engaka owakhubazeka umndeni, kuthi akube mhlawumbe iminyaka ebe 23 akakaze athi ufisa ukubonana nomzali nabazali bakaBheki Mlangeni okanye umndeni wakubuka Bheki Mlangeni, bese kuthi mvanje ngoba usefisa ukuthi akhululwe ebese eqala ukuthi mhlambe uyafisa ukubonana nomndeni wakwaMlangeni wakubuka Bheki. Kithi akuzwakali kahle yonke leminyaka wayekade engafisi na ukuthi ababone noma sokumanje ngoba esefisa ukuphuma.
All right, let me just give a little bit of a translation. Makhumalo said she never agreed to this. This was something that she didn't want to happen, didn't want to see happening when she heard that Eugene de Kock may get parole. His brother Lendani said they're not happy with what the paper articles came out saying, that they were ready to forgive. They're not ready to forgive. In fact, they're saying that the de Kock family have never made contact with them. They've never ever come to reconcile for all the hurt that they've had over all of these years. Makamalo, again, do you feel that Eugene de Kock has not been honest about your son's death? Do you feel that there needs to be more coming from him?
Yebo, ngikuzwa endlebeni zami ukuthi kukhona lapha engatholi kahle ukuthi kwenzeke kanjani. Uma kuchaza yena hleze kungazwakala kangcono kimi lokho.
Still don't understand his explanation. So that's how you're feeling. Lindani, anything you'd like to add?
Empeleni sahlukumezeka kakhulu. Uma ngabe sokuphathwa elokuthi angaphuma manje siwumndeni akukho esingakwenza kodwa ukuthi yena sizobe sesithe siyamxolela akugezi ukuba into yamanje mkhulu umonakalo owenzeke emndenini ngesenzo sakhe.
Still hurtful, can't forgive. Eugene de Kock's actions were still very, very hurtful. Let's bring Khulumani back in here. From what we are hearing from the families of the victims, do you think that enough work has been done for apartheid victims?
I think Khulumani is quite convinced that not enough has been done. I mean, very strongly so. We are beginning a campaign now which is around the let's finish the unfinished business. The TRC sort of began to open a door towards finding out what actually happened. It was closed very quickly after a year and a half as far as victims were concerned, and the perpetrators were actually given more time to give their side of the an extra year over that. Eugene de Kock was one of the very few people who did actually go to jail.
Yeah.
There are many, many people out there who still have cases outstanding against them, who government still says it will be prosecuted. And one of our questions for Eugene de Kock is he actually willing to give of his knowledge testimony that would help resolve some of these unsolved questions?
Yeah.
There are questions about people like Masutha. He was commander of Vlakplaas at the point when she disappeared, and he has never been open about that. He's never talked about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's just no time, but are you able to just give us your number for Khulumani, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that would love to get in touch with you. Do you know it offhand?
I don't actually.
Not a problem. We'll get it from you offhand, and I will certainly give that out after the news at 7 o'clock, so that people can get hold of you if they do need help.
Yeah.
Just as
we
you're
do have a
helping.
website.
What is your website?
www.khulumani.net.
So .net.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's khulumani.net.
Yeah.
I will get that number from you as well. Thank you for talking to us. Thank you for coming in, talking on behalf of some of the victims. Judy Seidman is from Khulumani Support. She's a board member there. And then Bheki Mlangeni is the mother of a deceased lawyer, Bheki Mlangeni, also brother, Lindani Mlangeni, talking to us here in studio. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with the news at